Alright, good evening po sa inyo lahat mga kabayan. It is currently 9:10 p.m. Here in Sherwood Park, Alberta. It's a bit chilly outside, but we got the nice beautiful sunset over there. And of course, really nice rainy weather. My kind of weather. Once again guys, this is Jerry Domingo, Finance Manager, part ng Philcan Car, a division of Sherwood Park Mazda, based here sa Sherwood Park, Alberta, owner ng Pinoy Car Loans Canada on Facebook. So tonight's Facebook Live video is something that I actually wanted to do for the longest time. As sa mga regular followers ng page ko, alam nyo na nakabenta na tayo ng 2019 na RAV4 dati, tsaka 2019 na CRV, but it's never often at the same time na I would have both vehicles on the lot, right? So this time nagkataon na meron tayo parehong units. There is the 2019 Toyota RAV4 and the 2018 CRV Honda EX. So I figured this would be a great opportunity for me to do a video comparing the two, kasi first and foremost ito dalawa sa pinaka-popular na SUV sa Filipino market, right? Alam naman natin, of course, Toyota, Honda, stereotypically, yan ang sasakyan ng Pilipino, right? But oftentimes kasi, especially in the previous years that's gone by, yung difference between the two wasn't that obvious, right? Of course, besides the brand and the look, right? Now, for 2019, dun nag-step up yung Toyota, completely redesigned yung SUV nila, while at the same time, Honda's 2018 going into 2019, the vehicles still look the same, no? So I wanted to do a quick video comparing the two. Now, kasi I know for a lot of people out there, you want to know which vehicle would actually be better for you, alright? What kind of options both vehicles have to offer, right? And ano yung key differences between sa kanilang dalawa, right? So I wanted to clarify, guys, no? So we are comparing a 2019 Toyota RAV4 LE to a 2018 Honda CRV EX, right? Now I know this is a 2018, pero as I said earlier, it has been pretty much unchanged performance-wise, features-wise, to the 2019. Of course, until you go up to the higher trim levels like EX, EXL, Touring, right? So this is a good starting point para sa marami sa inyo na nanonood in deciding which vehicle is actually better for you. So I'm a bit biased actually, as a lot of my viewers and my followers would know. I actually like yung Honda CRV better, but I'll get down to that later. So let's do a fair comparison between the two, no? So hopefully, kung kayo ay nasa market at kayo nagde-decide between these two vehicles, makatulong tong video na ito sa inyo. Of course, given the fact na it's in Tagalog, it's a lot easier to understand, right? I can always switch to English. So kung meron nanonood ngayon na gusto mag-switch ako na English, let me know. I can do both, right? So let's get started, right? So let's look first sa 2019 Toyota RAV4, kasi ito yung isa sa mga pinaka-anticipated na SUVs ng Toyota in the most recent years, right? Of course, alam naman natin yung difference na itsura ng 2018, 2017, tsaka ngayon 2019. I actually did a video on this on the 2019 XLE version naman. But this one here is the LE all-wheel drive. So ito yung parang starting base model ng RAV4. So let's go over this, okay? So as you guys can see, yung looks niya completely different, no? I'm gonna go saying the same things I said about the XLE. The RAV4 this year actually looks like an actual SUV, right? It actually looks rugged, it looks a bit macho, it looks very masculine kumpara sa previous year's generation, which I'm gonna show you guys. So this is the previous year's generation of RAV4. This is a 2018 model, right? So as you can see there, still a very refined look naman, pero in comparison to the 2019, right, mas astig tignan yung 2019. So aside from the obvious change sa body style niya, it's a bit more boxier, right? Bit more edges around the corner. If you notice yung kanyang taillights, right? Very square yung design, right? Even here, as I mentioned, this reminds me a lot of the Jeeps, right? Itong style ng ganitong taillight niya, right? Very angular ang design nila ngayon. It looks very much like an actual SUV, right? So, first and foremost, yung design ng sasakyan itself. Let's start with the keys. So, Toyota finally upgraded yung kanilang itsura ng mga susi nila. They used to have a very old-fashioned key. Now this is actually the standard key now for the RAV4. As you guys can see, they're very, modern look, right? They got the whole flipping action na hindi nawala doon sa mga 2018 na models, right? So let's start with that. So of course, rock and lock, right? All that nice stuff. So iba na itsura niya. So again, Going inside the vehicle this time, you can see right there yung setup nung RAV4. Looking at it from this distance here, you can tell that this vehicle was designed by Toyota to be taken seriously as an SUV. It's very different kumpara sa 2018 na model, right? The whole angular aspect, mga lines and everything from the outside carries over here sa inside, right? Nice square angles here, right? It looks like a Jeep. Mukha siyang Jeep talaga. Yun ang unang impression ko. So, with regards to the Toyota, of course, first and foremost, as you guys can see, completely redesigned siya, right? Unfortunately, wala pa yung push button niya is actually, I believe, on the XLE trim level pataas. But this is a regular key version. So we're gonna start this. So it's got that nice updated, graphics and all that stuff. Digital speedometer, meron siya, right? Still the same features-wise. You still got your standard Bluetooth controls, right? Touch yung steering wheel controls when nag-drive tayo. And of course, you got the Toyota safety system now. So yung rear cross traffic alert, lane departure warnings, you can control that from your steering wheel as well. Of course, cruise control, so meron din siya. The whole setup of the RAV4 now, all of these options were not available sa mga previous year na model niya. All of these options actually were on the Toyota 4Runner, right? So now they actually migrated this whole system, this whole setup sa RAV4. Again, going with the whole, let's make an SUV na talaga mukhang SUV, right? So it's still got the heated seats, right? For driver and passenger, right? This is still touchscreen. So may touchscreen control siya, tapos meron din siya mga buttons dito, right? Driving modes niya, so eco, right? Normal, sport, rock, dirt, mud, sand, snow, on and off. These are all adjustments sa torque, tsaka sa power distribution ng sasakyan, right? That helps you maneuver pretty much sa mga different settings na ito. Of course, don't expect the same performance on the 4Runner sa Toyota RAV4 just because meron siyang ganito. This is more of a convenience thing, no? Right? So keep that in mind. Redesigned din yung kanyang cloth seats, right? It looks a little fancier kumpara sa mga previous year's models na mga base model. Of course, pati yung glove box niya looks a bit different din, right? Automatic headlights right there. So the biggest difference dito kasi talaga is the whole updated look, right? So very different updated look. This is the kind of vehicle na if you're driving this, it will command attention. Makakakuha ka ng attention. Mapa-Pilipino man yan, ibang lahi man yan, kasi maganda siya. Magandang sasakyan siya, right? Of course, iba-iba tayo ng type ng designs, right? But of course, ang importante dito, features-wise, lahat ng basic na kailangan na isang sasakyan, meron to. Touchscreen, Bluetooth, cruise control, heated seats, right? Yung safety system ng Toyota, lane departure, rear cross traffic alert, backup camera, of course, meron din siya. Then let's look over sa middle row, sa passenger side. So, on the passenger side, as you guys can see, I'm not sure kung makikita nyo obviously, this is actually a bit more seating room kumpara sa mga previous models, right? And I think actually Toyota mentioned that sa mga press release nila, that there is more leg room here for the passengers kumpara sa previous year's models, right? So, still the same standard design, 60-40 split. This one goes down, the other side goes down as well, right? Now, one big difference then, previous year's models ng mga RAV4, right? Yung rims niya, right? There was a time, I think 2016 going into 2017, na yung rims niya was actually sa base model was steel, right? So steel tapos may wheel covers lang, right? No 2018 saka 2019 they actually went with the alloys, right? The 2018 alloy rims were actually tingin ko mas maganda yung design kumpara dito. This is a very basic design, pero for convenience sake it's actually a lot easier to clean, right? So moving on naman tayo sa space sa likod. I think this is the main difference that you will notice between this tsaka yung Honda CRV mamaya. Because when you look at the space here sa likod ng RAV4, it's actually very spacious, right? I'm not sure if it's just a perception thing. Maybe for me, I didn't actually take a ruler, mineasure, ko di siya mineasure. Pero if you look at it, it looks very spacious, right? So another good thing with Toyota, yung kanilang rubber mats, in-update na nila, right? These used to be just basic rubber mats. Now, these actually look like decent floor liners, right? And the good thing with Toyota, na brand new, it comes with these set of mats, right? So sa Honda hindi siya kasama, you have to pay extra for them. Sa Toyota kasama siya with the vehicle itself. So aside from that, ayan ang ating spare tire, right? So standard design pa rin, nilagay na nila sa loob, right? But overall, yung space dito sa likod, I think, is a lot bigger compared dun sa CRV. Now, another important thing, especially sa ating mga lalaki, is engine power, right? So that's a good thing with the Toyota RAV4 for 2019. They actually increased yung power output ng sasakyan na to. The old RAV4s, nasa na yung latch nito? The old RAV4s had a horsepower of 186 or 168 or even less. Idea of making an SUV feel like an, actually, tinasa nila actually yung horsepower nitong Toyota RAV4. So it has a lot more power kumpara sa mga ibang competition niya na SUV like the Mazda CX-5 and of course, you know, Nissan Rogue, right? The non-turbo versions at least, right? This is a gas engine, hindi siya turbo, right? Hindi siya turbocharged, but it has 203 horsepower sa mga tao na mahilig sa performance, right? This has a little bit more power kumpara sa previous year's models niya. Okay? So let's close that up. So as you can see there, updated din yung kanyang headlights. Very nice white LED lights, right? Na previously was not available on the RAV4 unless you go on the higher trim levels. Now the LE has it. And these are actually one of the things I like about the Toyota. Kahit sa base model, yung headlights niya would look really, really nice. Especially para sa ating mga nakatira sa Alberta or sa Saskatchewan or even BC where nighttime driving is a norm, right? Those white LED lights are actually a lot better on the road kumpara sa yellow lang, right? So, power-wise, 203 horsepower, bigger space sa likod, completely updated design, looks more manly, looks more rugged, looks more like an SUV, right? So let's move on naman sa Honda CRV. So this is a 2018 version, guys, right? So as I said, there's not much difference between this and the 2019. This is a EX, I believe, ha? Right off the bat, sa susi ng Honda, what I like, has a built-in remote starter. This tells me that this is an EX model. Kasi on the LX, I'm not sure kung meron siyang built-in na remote starter, but this one has it. So it has a built-in remote starter. So as I always tell my clients, if it's a feature ng sasakyan na meron, hindi mo na kailangang bayaran, that's definitely an extra plus, right? So let's look at this vehicle naman. So as you can see, not as aggressive design-wise kumpara dun sa RAV4, right? It still has its you know, rounded look, whereas the more rectangular look ng RAV4, right? More angular look ng RAV4. It still has its whole yung pagka-round shape niya, right? You get your nice alloy rims as well with the Honda. A bit more different design, right? Compared to the Toyota, obviously. So you get that nice angular look din dito, but not as, I guess, as aggressive as that. Kasi even though medyo angular to, it's still very round, very much rounded, right? So let's look inside the vehicle. So as you can see, very similar ng layout to the RAV4 to the CRV. Not as updated kumpara sa RAV4, obviously, kasi bago lang yun. So ito yung sa CRV. So one thing din na maganda sa CRV na to is it's a push button, no? So kumpara sa RAV4 na LE na desusi, this is actually a push button, so it's nice. So as you can see, the layout nung dash, the layout nung kanyang is very different nung sa RAV4. This one has a bit more color, a bit more easier, a bit more visible to the eyes kumpara dun sa RAV4 where the screen is a bit more smaller. Parang dito lang yata yung sa RAV4, right? That's the one thing that I like about the Hondas kasi it looks very techy, I guess is a word to use. Even yung kanyang fuel gauge is not the regular, you know, gauge is completely digital, right? Not sure kung kita nyo siya. That's a digital gauge right there. Same thing for yung temperature, engine temperature right there. So, very different layout, right? Kumpara dun sa RAV4 na mukha siyang merong tablet na nakamount lang dito. This one you can see that the actual dash here is built into the actual unit dito. Hindi siya nakaseparate doon. That's a completely new look. I mentioned before na nagpunta ako sa Edmonton Auto Show, that's one of the newest trends sa mga sakyan is yung para bang may tablet na naka-mount lang dito. And dun yung dash mo, dun yung controls mo. That's I think one of the design features that I first saw that's a Tesla, right? And then inadapt na ng mga ibang manufacturers. I could be wrong, pero for me, I believe Tesla was the first one to do that, right? So as you can see, layout niya is very different, right? It doesn't have that same SUV feel, SUV in the sense na pang off-road na feel, kumpara dun sa RAV4 where you have those knobs, you have the mud, the slush, the rock, the sand setting. Ito, completely different siya, right? And that's mainly because the CRV, just like the RAV4 din, right, is mainly designed for within the city driving. Yes, it's an SUV, pero it's mainly designed for within the city driving, right? It's just that features-wise, mas marami lang yung Toyota sa RAV4 sa driving features niya kumpara sa CRV, right? So, as you guys can see here, so touchscreen din to, right? The screen layout is very different, right? Backup camera, meron din siya obviously, right? The icon button, which is meron din sa Toyota, and that's mainly designed to help with the fuel consumption para hindi tayo malakas masyadong kumonsumo ng gas. It still also has yung heated seats for both driver and passenger, right? So almost identical features wise, layout lang ang pinagkaiba talaga nila, right? This is more softer, I guess, softer, friendlier na layout kumpara sa more aggressive design, sa opinion ko nung RAV4, right? So obviously glove box is still there, still pretty good space there naman, right? Now, you're gonna notice too that Honda has their own safety system as well. So just like the Toyota RAV4, this one has the lane departure warning, it has the rear cross traffic alert, right? Which is meron din sa Toyota RAV4. So these are the new safety features na a lot of manufacturers are including na kahit sa base model ng sasakyan. So that's really good on them. Now if they could actually copy Nissan and put the GPS sa base model nila, that would be even better, right? So same as the RAV4, meron tayong control sa steering wheel natin. You have your phone controls, voice activated, yung voice recognition, right? Yung inyong cruise control, right, which is there. So yung gauge niya dito, yung mga features niya dito, masi-shift mo rin to see what's going on. So I'm gonna see if I can adjust the camera angle. See, fuel economy, right? Yung all-wheel drive system mo, kung tumatakbo ba, settings and all that stuff, you can easily cycle through that gaya nung sa Toyota RAV4 din with a push of a button here, right? So volume controls dito is very different pag ganun siya. So you can press the button or you can just glide your finger. That's actually annoying for a lot of drivers, right? You got your charging panels here, right? Of course, sa RAV4 kanina meron din siya, meron din dito. Now let's look sa passenger side naman. So, passenger side, right off the bat, you might notice na the RAV4 might seem like it does have more seating space. I actually think na it does have more seating space, mas spacious siya kumpara dito sa CRV, right? Of course, you still got your basic vents over here, right? Also, one thing with the CRV, no, yung rubber mats, those very nice rubber mats that almost looks like floor liners, hindi siya included with the CRV na brand new. So Toyota RAV4 kasama siya. Now, yung space sa likod, this might be the biggest one difference-wise, right? So as you can see, it looks very narrow kumpara dun sa RAV4, right? So if you are a family that plays a lot of sports and all that stuff, or balak mong gamitin pang negosyo, this might be something that you might want to consider when you're deciding between the CRV tsaka yung RAV4, which is yung cargo space sa likod. The RAV4 has a much bigger cargo space kumpara sa CRV, right? Same setup, yung kanyang spare tire nandito. Extra power outlets here, just like the RAV4. So I'm gonna open yung RAV4 para makita nyo rin. So, RAV4 cargo space, CRV na cargo space. So again, might be something na deciding factor sa pagbili nyo or pag-decide nyo between the two vehicles, no, is yung kanyang cargo room. So let's close that. Let's close this. So, going by what I said kanina, one thing that's important for a lot of people is yung performance ng sasakyan, power output. Now, dito ang main na pinagkaiba ng RAV4 versus sa CRV. The CRV comes from the base model LX with a turbocharged engine, right? So, difference-wise between ng turbo tsaka regular gas engines, right? Obviously, for more power, right? More fuel economy, more fuel efficiency, depende sa kung ano yung ginagawa mo, right? It can go both ways, right? A turbocharged engine obviously is gonna go faster, pero in this case actually, yung horsepower ng CRV, I believe I have to double check this, the horsepower of the CRV is a lot less kumpara sa RAV4, right? So, this I believe is a 1.8 or 1.5 liter turbocharged engine, 4-cylinder, 1.5 liter yung kanyang displacement, while the RAV4 is a 2.5 liter displacement, 4-cylinder engine. So, fuel-wise, right, both of them, manufacturer suggested regular gas, obviously. If you're running a turbocharged engine, personal suggestion ko lang po, try to use premium. It's gonna keep your engine a lot more healthier in the long run, right? Mas malinis kasi syempre ang premium fuel. A lot of my Subaru clients who also are the WRX is a turbocharged vehicle, I recommend they use premium fuel na rin for the health of their engines, right? So this one here being a turbocharged engine, right, I suggest try to use premium on this one, right? I'm gonna go into a bit more detail between yung difference ng turbo versus yung regular engine in a different video, right? Pero that's the main difference between the two. This is a turbo engine that has a regular gas engine, right? And I'm gonna show you yung itsura ng engine. I'm just gonna open the hood. Bukas ba? So you guys can see there, engine wise, right, turbo, a lot more smaller compared to the RAV4. And the one thing I found when I was driving these two vehicles, was I found that the CRV is actually a lot more quieter habang tumatakbo ito. If you're inside the vehicle, yung mga nabenta ko na brand new na 2019, napaka-tahimik niya sa loob, right? And that was a problem with the previous generation na RAV4s. But the one thing na napansin ko when I delivered yung 2019 na RAV4 sa kliyente ko was engine noise has significantly gone down dun sa RAV4 when you're driving it, So that's something for you to see for yourself, right? At personal opinion ko, I found na mas tahimik yung CRV habang tumatakbo siya while you're on the road kumpara sa RAV4, right? But as you guys can see here, setup ng lights niya iba. These are the regular lights, headlights, yung mga dilaw. I forgot what the actual term is, right? And of course, you got your daytime running lights here sa gilid. LEDs, yung parang kilay niya. But look at the difference between the two, right? Tignan nyo yung glow ng headlights nito, ng CRV, kumpara dun sa RAV4. Right? This is a nice white light, right? Makes things a lot more visible kumpara dito sa CRV, right? And that's actually the one thing that I did not like. I believe 2019 EX trim levels, yung mid-trim level, corrected that. Mas maganda na yung headlights niya, right? But definitely something for you guys to consider when you're deciding between the two. So, main selling points naman ng CRV. Number one, yung kanyang turbocharged engine. You get that nice extra performance for turbo enthusiasts, right? As I said, I'm gonna go into a bit more detail on that later on in a different video, right? Number two, obviously, yung features niya na meron din yung RAV4, right? In fairness, meron din naman yung RAV4, right? And yung kanyang, for me yung kanyang dash is a lot more visible, a lot more easier to see kumpara sa RAV4, right? Kaya sabi ko kanina, performance-wise, I believe the RAV4 has more horsepower kumpara sa CRV. I have to double check that. Right? Pero looks-wise, the RAV4 does look more aggressive, does look more SUV-ish kumpara sa CRV. And you guys also saw earlier, cargo space mas malaki yung sa RAV4 kumpara sa CRV, right? That could be a big deal breaker for you, right? When it comes sa features ng sasakyan. Both of them have the same features, alloy rims, you know. Oh, and the CRV has yung built-in na remote starter, while the RAV4 does not. The RAV4 has a regular key. This one is a push-button start. Both of those have their own pros and cons, right? So it's really just a matter of preference. So, as you guys can see here, I hope kahit paano yung personal at professional opinions ko between these two vehicles ay nakatulong sa inyo kung kayo ay nagsha-shopping or nagde-decide kung anong sasakyan na mas gusto ninyo. I wanted to do this video kasi a lot of people have been requesting this. Gaya nga ng sabi ko, it's just, you know, it just happened na last time yung nabenta kong RAV4 na-deliver ko bago ko nakuha yung CRV. So hindi ako nakagawa ng side-by-side comparison. So this one here, I believe is a fair comparison naman, right? So I hope na nakatulong yung video. I pointed out yung major pros ng RAV4. I pointed out yung pros ng CRV, right? And kung kayo po ay interesado or kayo ay nagsha-shopping ng sasakyan at gusto nyo umiwas sa mga dealership, gusto nyo umiwas sa mga games that the salespeople play, you want to save time, you want to do things more efficiently, right? Please feel free to message me on Facebook, Pinoy Car Loans Canada. That's Pinoy Car Loans Canada, not Pinoy Cars. Okay, Pinoy Car Loans Canada. Ako lang pong sumasagot doon. As you guys can see here, I can get any brand of vehicle na gusto nyo. Honda, RAV4, right? Subaru, Mazda, anything. Pwede kong kunin brand new or used, right? I make the process easier for you. Wala nang talon-talon, wala nang lipat-lipat ng kausap, right? You just deal with me from beginning to the end, and I make sure na, you know, you get the great service and of course a fair, you know, a great deal on the vehicle, and you know, you leave being more well informed regarding the vehicle na you bought, tsaka at the same time tungkol na rin sa credit and you know, all that other stuff that I talk about sa mga videos ko. So once again guys, I hope nakatulong tong video na to. Now, I didn't talk about price kasi this is a pre-owned Honda CRV while this is a brand new Toyota RAV4. So obviously, there is gonna be a huge disparity in price, right? So hindi ko tinalakay yung price sa video na ito. And of course, price is subjective naman. Kung gusto mo yung sasakyan at kasya naman sa approval mo, kasya sa budget mo, right? Price is very inconsequential. It's just a matter of finding a vehicle na has your needs and fulfills your wants, right? Without putting you into the doghouse, ika nga, when it comes sa utang. So once again guys, this is Jerry Domingo, Finance Manager, part ng Philcan Car, a division of Sherwood Park Mazda, owner ng Pinoy Car Loans Canada on Facebook. I hope this little video comparing the RAV4 versus the CRV was helpful, right? If you guys have any comments or opinions about the two vehicles, what you think makes the CRV better, what you think makes the RAV4 better, please feel free to share, right? Put that in the comments below. Obviously, I'll do my best to respond. And kung meron kayong ideas for what my next video should be, please feel free to message me then. Let me know kung ano yung gusto nyong talakayin ko sa next video ko, and I will talk about that. So I was supposed to have a delivery today, pero naudlot, nagkaroon ng problema yung sasakyan. So we're gonna bump that to Friday. So I'm gonna go live again on the road. Otherwise guys, Alberta, Saskatchewan, British Columbia, I am here for you guys. I service all 3 provinces. I deliver all your vehicles to you for free, to your door. No need to take a day off work, no need to leave your office, no need to leave your home, right? I take care of everything for you. Okay, thank you very much guys, and have yourselves a good night.